My lunchbox tarts did not look like the cake boss made them.
I actually have been into Hamilton since before it was cool.
Every Disney theme park in the world was closed.
Listen, Main Street Electrical Parade is wonderful.
What episode are we filming today? 2020. Let me mask up. Ready.
It's December 2019, and we are all feeling hope for 2020. I know I have my vision board and my goals, and I plan on traveling the world. And then Corona.
I lived at my parents' house for quarantine, which was actually fine.
The vision board knocked out the window.
I have been living with my now husband for several years now. And still, having been together for 10 years, it wasn't until quarantine I realized how many annoying things he does on a daily basis.
Attempting to bake and cook Disney recipes on Instagram, watching all the Marvel movies for the first time, and attempting to make YouTube videos about Walt Disney World from my house.
Well, I'm the type of person you might call a homebody.
Nobody can ask you to hang out. And I was like, really? This is amazing. This is everything I've ever asked for.
So really, work from home is what I've discovered my true calling to have always been. And I just wish that I had found out earlier because I love it. I get so much done, and I cook myself a nice vegan dinner. And I distill my own water.
We bought a blow-up pool, which is both peak quarantine and peak Florida. And we would sit in our driveway at like 10 a.m. on a Sunday and drink a beer in a blow-up pool because society ceased to have any rules.
And I dehydrate my own ginger.
And that's what was weird, was that everybody was on walks and no one was wearing like clothes.
And I take lots of baths. My life is sad. My life is small and sad.
I also realized my lifelong dream ever since I saw Christina Aguilera's Come On Over video of dyeing my hair pink. I felt like a mermaid. I know they say blondes have more fun, but I really think mermaids probably have the most fun, and I don't think I'm ready.
No one will ever love me.
I also learned how to sew.
I have been trying to buy a sewing machine for months. I want to start dressing like a 14th century nurse, which is what I was like, I'm gonna make all my own clothes. I've never sewed before in my life. And I'm upset about it because I'm still wearing store-bought clothing. I didn't make this.
I had to stop myself from a lot of weird purchases.
I was this close to buying a screen-accurate Anna costume from Frozen 2. Because good God, is that a look?
I make a weird purchase a day. I like a bubble bath, a bubble oil, a bath salt. Not the kind that get you in trouble in Florida.
In the midst of the deepest, darkest parts of quarantine, living at home with my family, with my dad's cooking for dinner, and my mom watching movies and reality TV with her, and my brother like building Lego sets and doing really weird stuff. You think I'm weird? You should meet my brother.
I get to talk with my grandparents probably more than I was before.
The brightest spot of my quarantine was spending 4 months with my dad.
We've got to take a moment to acknowledge all of the incredible hard-working heroes, especially early on in the pandemic, and those who are still fighting today. Snaps for you, okay? I'm gonna go all Elle Woods on there.
I spent a lot of quality time with the most important person in my life, Kronk. I'm just kidding, my husband. But from a professional standpoint, it challenged me to figure out how to connect with the people I talk to without going to Disney World every day. And this is like the cheesiest thing ever, but I feel like our followers, like we're all a pack and we all went through something. And I got a lot of messages from people that reached out and thanked me and thanked our team for what we were doing, whether it be just putting out a silly video or a quiz or dressing our dogs and cats up like characters, and just thanked us for providing something fun and an escape during the most surreal time in a lot of people's lives, and that meant a lot. Buzz, you know, you're my favorite character ever, and I just think you've gotten even cuter this year.
Oh my gosh, there is no experience like going to the movie theaters. As soon as you walk into the theater door and immediately you smell that buttery popcorn.
Nothing is as good as movie popcorn and fake butter with all that salt and all that trans fat. It is so good. And I like to sneak in a bag of M&Ms, pour it in there. It's like a sweet and salty situation.
Whatever's in the butter is not something that my body can handle. I'm never fine. It's never fine. I always get violently sick in the movie and then for like hours after.
I liked grabbing little moments of Disney. I would go to Regal theaters where they had the 4DX format, which was a moving chair, smell, fog, rain, water splash, and they had the weird plastic noodle that tickled the back of your legs.
I have kind of loved that things have come to streaming.
I love that things are streaming on Disney Plus early.
I think Disney was like, okay, all of these kids are home. Their parents are probably screaming into a pillow somewhere right now. And so Disney was like, we have a gift for you. And that gift is called Frozen 2. You're welcome.
It was awesome to me when Frozen 2 showed up early. It was like a good plus that week when there were not a lot of pluses. You know, it's April. There weren't a lot of pluses in April. That was a good plus.
Cut to a week later after Disney Plus has released Frozen 2. And all they're hearing is their children going,
I'm going to very specifically say Hamilton came out a year prior to when it was actually supposed to. And that was probably one of also the bright spots of my 2020. I have watched that a crazy amount of times.
I love Hamilton. I don't know what they're called, but I'm gonna say I'm a Hamil man. If that's a thing, it's a thing now. Hashtag Hamil man.
I think it was great that Hamilton came to Disney Plus.
I actually have been into Hamilton since before it was cool. And you're like, well, here's the thing, Quincy. Hamilton's been cool since it came out. Joke's on you. Lin-Manuel Miranda actually rapped Alexander Hamilton, the first song, at a dinner at the White House for President Obama.
I feel really good about Hamilton coming to Disney Plus.
How does a orphan son of and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten... I'm gonna speed it up because it's long.
I'm John Lord's in the place to be. I'm 2 pints of sand. I'm working on 3. Look around, not like me hard to be alive right now. Look into your eyes and the skies and living on.
Helpless!
To the room, to the room, to the room, to the room.
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to my sister!
I'm not throwing away my shot. No, I'm not throwing away my shot.
Yeah, I'm just not throwing away my shot.
Say my love is really can't go on.
Wait for it. What time is? I just really like Aaron Burr. Dear Theodosia, what can you say to you? I'm a lot better in my car with the actual cast singing.
And we fought with him.
Me, I trusted him.
Me, I died for him.
Me, I loved him. And me,
Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm the damn fool that shot him.
There's a million things you haven't done.
But just you.
What's your name, man? Alexander
What's your name, man?
Oh God, I don't know. Can we come back to the singing? I'll come back to it.
I am most upset about the delay of the Jungle Cruise with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and new Mary Poppins, also known as Emily Blunt.
But now I have to wait till next year to go on a river cruise around the world with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I'm very sad about that because, like everyone else on this team, I love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
want to see The Rock on a boat. I want to hear them make a backside of water joke. I want it.
I love it. I love that there have been so many different reunions, but it's kind of been a little bit like everything I grew up with has reunited because we're all in this together in like this bleak way.
Universal Orlando reopened and they decided to open up their Cinemark theater again. It was like all old school movies and it was $5 and it was like Ghostbusters, Jaws. Have you seen Jaws? Do you need me to tell you the plot? Because that's what people wanted to see. They wanted the nostalgia. They wanted to have fun and forget the world again.
I went to a drive-in theater. Hello, it's so luxurious. You get your own ecosystem to be inside of. You know what I mean? You don't have to like, oh, get your keys, make sure you have your purse. Like, do I have my phone? You know, everybody out. Then you get into a theater and then you're like, okay, let's put all this stuff down. And then like, okay, remember where you put it down because then you're gonna have to pick it up again. And then the movie is over and you're like, okay, I saw the movie. And you're like, oh, okay, I gotta find my stuff. You find your stuff, then you're like, okay, let's go get the car. And you like walk to the car and you're like, put all the stuff back in the car.
Ship is in the harbor now, see if you can spot him. Another immigrant coming up from the bottom. His enemies just hope.
In a statement, Disney's saying, in an abundance of caution and in the best interest of our guests and employees, we are proceeding with the closure of our theme parks.
So the Disney parks, both Disney World and Disneyland, closed in March of 2020 due to the pandemic. Disney World reopened in July. It started a phased reopening, and as of now, Disneyland has not yet reopened.
For the first time ever, every Disney theme park in the world was closed at the same time, and all of the parks were closed for the longest period of time as well.
Disney parks are actually a very big indicator of one, business and the economy and Wall Street. They're a huge indicator for that, and the travel industry as a whole. So the fact that all of these were shut down was extremely historically significant because it shows just how big COVID-19 is, exactly what it's doing to the world. And I know for me, it was a really big wake-up call to that.
It's very rare that the Disney parks, Walt Disney World specifically, closes for anything. It's a place where people go for joy and to celebrate. Some of the only reasons Disney parks have ever closed have been hurricanes. Tokyo Disney has closed for natural disasters in the past as well, tsunamis and earthquakes. And of course, the domestic Disney parks closed early on September 11th.
So for me, not only is writing about Disney is my job, so it was already kind of a scary thing when they closed. In my lifetime, these were parks that didn't close for anything.
A lot of people are like, oh no, you can't go hug Mickey Mouse. And while it is upsetting that we can't go hug Mickey Mouse, and that's a source of comfort for a lot of people, this is also an event that is something that is unprecedented, has literally never happened in the history before, and meant that one of the most major companies in the world was accepting a multi-billion-dollar loss in the interest of keeping people safe, because that was what needed to happen, which is how serious the situation was.
It doesn't sound like it should matter, because in the grand scheme of things, riding It's a Small World and seeing Mickey Mouse don't matter. Disney is a place that all of us go for escape and for joy, and it's where people go to celebrate their weddings and their children's and Christmas and graduations and adoptions and anniversaries, and it is a place of joy. So to realize that around the world there wasn't that spark of joy happening, it was very surreal, and it was very symbolic of what the rest of the world was dealing with. But without a doubt, the worst part of Disney World and Disneyland being closed for months is the fact that over 32,000 people lost their jobs. And these are people like the Citizens of Hollywood and the Festival of the Lion King performers and the Citizens of Main Street and cast members that have been with the Walt Disney Company for decades, their whole career, because of financial restrictions and because of the situation. Disney had, no choice but to let over 30,000 people go. When I think about what it means that the Disney parks closed, I think about those literal thousands of cast members.
This is the official reopening day, and I'm going to take you along with me in the park. I'm going to show you what new processors are like. We're going to look at what the crowds are like, the wait times are like, what it's like to be here.
Let's hold back our tears
I cried 10,000 times
as we remember that time.
I love this show.
I actually remember when the idea was conceived, I was not really involved with the YouTube side of things, but somehow I got roped in, and I have been here ever since.
I get to make my friends do silly things on camera that our editor then makes sillier and puts on the internet, which is just...
I have to give mad props to our editors. I think that our editors are incredible. Our editors are incredible. Our editors are incredible. Our editors are incredible.
I have learned things about myself that I did not know before from doing RTT.
RTT is one of the most fun things I've ever done. The fact that we get to do this for fun, but also it's my job, is the craziest thing ever. It's so fun. I love this show. I hope other people are liking it. I love that, we see comments about how much people like it. It is so fun to make, and I hope everyone is having as much fun as we're having making it, watching it.
RTT is something really fun and cool. I cannot believe I get to do. Talk about all my favorite things with some of my favorite people.
And I get to work with Molly and Quincy and Morgan and the whole gang.
It's also really fun to work with this cast because I laugh out loud every single episode because I have no idea what's going to come out of some of these people's mouths.
My favorite thing we've talked about so far.
Jaws was very fun, obviously, but I'd like to get more into the film because we only really touched on the ride. Same with Jurassic Park. That was really fun too because I very much enjoyed the question of who would survive Jurassic Park and who wouldn't, and I think we all can agree that Breedlove's final salute as he sang the Barney song and sacrificed himself was one of the finest moments of the show so far.
Don't you see I love you?
I also really enjoy talking about Christmas movies. I never expected I would get to talk about my love for Love Actually on this show, and I'm thrilled that I did. I'm so happy that I got to talk about how wonderful Emma Thompson is in that movie.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Love Actually was actually cut from the Christmas episode.
Was it?
I mean, Captain EO. What's weird is that was my very first episode that I was interviewed for. So I didn't really have the rhythm down yet. And by rhythm, I mean I was not able to turn my brain off and let my mouth make words for me.
My biggest regret about RTT.
One of my biggest regrets about Remember That Time is that I did not properly prepare myself with singing lessons prior to filming. You've got a friend in me, don't wishes, dream a dream.
I feel like we don't sing enough. There should be more songs. Let's have RTT the musical, and you can and sing along. We don't sing enough. We need more songs.
Do I feel like we dance too much? And if by we, you mean me, I would say no. But my neighbors who watch me dance to High School Musical and Captain EO in my driveway would probably say yes.
When Molly films herself dancing, I want you to realize the effort that she has put in at this point. She has gone outside of her house. She doesn't have room to do this in her house. So she's gone outside of her house. She has set up a tripod with her camera. She has turned on the music to whatever she's dancing to. And then she usually watches it kind of off to the side so that she can mimic the dance moves. And then she films the whole song. And we don't show you all of that because we want you to like Molly still. But she films the whole song. Stay tuned, one day we'll have RTT deleted scenes and it'll just be Molly dancing in front of her garage. So stay tuned.
I mean, it was a little bit weird when I couldn't stop laughing at the Black Cauldron. That's actually the reality. But I don't really regret that because honestly, that was really fun being that tickled.
That the video editor cut me off before I could fully explain the plot of
Our editors are incredible.
When I moved, I didn't bring all my hats with me. On the side of town there, chickadee. There's like a very distinct need for hats on this show.
I would have to say that one of my biggest regrets for RTT is coming from Main Street Electrical Parade. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing about the Main Street Electrical Parade. When I did my internship at Magic Kingdom Guest Relations, that is the parade that was at the Magic Kingdom in the evening time. So I saw that parade twice a night, every night for 6 months. So when I say that music will get stuck in your head, I mean it. Turtle with hat, you've lived a good life, and I tip my invisible hat to you.
I love the Main Street Electrical Parade very much, and I always did, and I said that I really, really loved it, and then everybody got mad at me, and I didn't understand because I love the Main Street. I grew up with a Disneyland annual pass, okay? I saw the Main Street Electrical Parade all the time. Do you not remember that I had to be cut off because I was talking about the origin story of Baroque Hoedown, the Perry and Kingsley song? The importance of the Moog versus Moog. I know they're all boring because it's probably boring to hear someone say they like something, and it's also boring to hear someone talk about weird musical instruments. But guess what? That's me. Breed love.
I like Main Street Electrical Parade just fine. It is not something from my nightmares, basically. Not really, anyway. It's wonderful.
And yeah, wow, you guys really love it. Me too, but I just didn't realize.
Since then, I can let you know that I've changed my ringtone to the Main Street Electrical Parade song. And I have bought off of eBay some Main Street Electrical merchandise, and I love it now. I love it. I really do. It's amazing. What's the next question?
I really want to talk about a few things, one of them being Shrek, because it deserves it.
Jaws for the Revenge, the film Titanic, Spectro Magic Parade, American Idol experience.
I hope we talk about the parade that made me crazy for Disney in the best possible way, called the Party Gras Parade.
Woo! 2020, what can I say?
2020 was a weird way to start a decade.
But I am very much looking forward to 2021. I'm hopeful that things will start looking up. And, you know, that it was a really, really hard year for a lot of people. And I only hope that there's brightness ahead.
I am glad it's almost over. 2020, in all seriousness, because this year has been nothing but serious, has been a defining year for everyone on the planet.
The result of 2020 and everything that we went through is that I decided that I needed to chase happiness. I just wish that for everyone, that they have the opportunity to go after whatever that is in their lives. Have the courage to jump and to really go for it. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day.
Thank you for watching RTT. We have so much fun making this show. Thank you for your kind comments. Please continue to watch it. Tell your friends about it. Thank you for loving it as much as we do.
Special message to my RTT fam. I just want to say that I am so honored to be doing this with you guys. I really, really feel like a member of the family, and I'm so excited for everything that we have in store and for everyone who tunes in and watches. Thank you guys so much. You make RTT what it is. So, all my love.
Thank you so much for tuning in and watching RTT with us. We're having a great time making them so far, and there are lots and lots of things to come. If you have anything you want us to talk about, please drop it in the comments, because we do want to know what you guys want to hear us talk about. So drop it in the comments and you might hear it in a future episode. So we're really excited to keep making them. Keep an eye out. Oh, and Happy New Year!
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. I'm feigning enthusiasm.
Tiger King was like Pokemon Go a few summers ago, but the opposite, because Pokemon Go is all about going outside and getting close to other people. This is the opposite of that. Now you're inside, away from other people, but you're still all talking about the same thing.
Hey everybody, it's Molly. Thank you so much for tuning into RTT. It's been a highlight of our 2020, and I hope it has been for you too. Make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can always know when new episodes come out. If you want more RTT, click over here for a playlist of every single episode. And if you want more AllEars, click over here for a video of me doing every single attraction in the Magic Kingdom. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.